A very good morning to all of you guys. I hope you guys are doing good. Now I'm CA Vipin Bohra. I'll be taking care of the most of the part of the syllabus of cost and management accounting. So I request you guys to please pay attention. Plus further, whatever the doubts you guys have, whatever the difficulties you guys are facing, I'll try my level best to address it all. So, very good morning, everyone. I'm good. Okay, Mr. Abdul. So, guys, I'll be taking care of the most of the part of the syllabus of cost and management accounting. Today, we'll be starting with the first chapter of the syllabus, that is material. But before starting with this chapter, let me give you a brief about what all is covered in the syllabus of cost and management accounting. So, first three chapters, what we will be discussing are the major three elements of the cost. That is material, labor, and overheads. The total cost of a product constitute these three elements, that is material, that is the raw material, labor cost, that is the conversion cost, and whatever the other expenditures that are incurred, that is indirect material, indirect labor, and indirect expenses, that will be covered in overhead. There is one more chapter that is in continuation of the chapter of overheads, that is activity-based costing, that also we will be covering. Thereafter, the calculation of total cost of product, will be discussing the chapter named cost sheet. So I repeat again, material, labor, and overhead, the three major elements of the cost. Thereafter, activity-based costing, plus how to calculate the total cost. What is the format of calculating the total cost? We will be discussing in a very systematic way in cost sheet. So thereafter, we will be discussing cost sheet. Now comes to the next part of the syllabus, wherein we'll be discussing few methods of costing. That is unit and batch costing. Wherein if you guys want to calculate the cost of the batch, we'll be discussing unit and batch costing. These are the methods of costing. Thereafter, three more chapters, that is process costing, contract costing, and service costing. First of all, process costing will be discussing. This process costing is a method of costing used by the companies wherein the raw material has to pass through two or more than two processes before being converted into final product. So the company wherein the raw material that has to pass through two or more than two processes, herein they will apply process costing for calculation for calculating the total cost. There is one more chapter we'll be discussing, that is in continuation of process costing. That is, the chapter is joint and byproduct costing. Thereafter, we'll be discussing contract costing. Now, this method of contract costing is used by the companies who are into construction business. So, to calculate, to account the cost incurred, they use contract costing technique. So thereafter, we'll be discussing contract costing. One more chapter in this part, that is method of costing, service sector costing. The industries, the companies who are into provision of service, who are into service sector. So to calculate the total cost of service, they use service sector costing or service costing. So this is all what about methods of costing. Now moving towards the next phase of the syllabus, that is more or less relating to management accounting. Three most important chapter, examiner do ask questions on all these three chapter in every attempt. That is budgetary control, standard costing, and marginal costing. These three chapters are part of management accounting. So these three chapters are very, very important from examination point of view. You will see the questions of these three chapters in every attempt. So budgetary control, standard costing, marginal costing, very important chapter. One more chapter we have skipped, that is method of accounting. Therein we will be discussing integrated and non-integrated. So these are the chapters that are covered in the syllabus right from start. The three major elements of cost, that is material, labor, and overhead. One more chapter will be discussing in continuation of overhead, that is activity-based costing. Thereafter, the calculation of total cost will be doing in cost sheet. It's a statement which systematically present the cost, the total cost statement. Thereafter, unit and batch costing. Thereafter, the methods of costing, that is process costing, joint by product, contract costing, and service costing. Further moving towards the next part of the syllabus, that is the part of management accounting, wherein three chapters are covered, that is budgetary control, standard costing, and marginal costing. Last, integrated and non-integrated. Now, काफी बार होता है स्टूडेंट सोचते हैं कि कौन सा चैप्टर स्किप करे, कौन सा चैप्टर अच्छे से पढ़े. Trust me guys, this paper is a full 100 marks. Examiner can ask you anything from anywhere. So कोई भी चैप्टर आपको स्किप नहीं करना है. You have to learn, you should have a thorough understanding of these chapters before appearing for the exams. But when talking about the most important chapters, very important guys, these three chapters, activity-based costing, these four chapters, you will see the question in each and every attempt. So when talking about the ABC analysis, these chapters comes in A++ category. Rest all the chapters are in A category, no C category or anything like that. So I request you guys to please try to learn all these chapters. कोई भी chapter आप skip नहीं कर सकते because the paper is of full 100 marks. If you guys have any doubts in the content part, what all we'll be discussing, you guys can ask me, else we'll proceed further with the first chapter of the syllabus, that is material. Happy New Year to all of you guys. Yes, Miss Jyoti. Thank you so much, Manisha Ben. Even I was waiting for the lectures to start. Yeah, apart from few chapters, I'll be taking the remaining, the most of the part of the syllabus I'll be covering. So don't worry. No worries, Mr. Josh Shah. Mr. Abdul, if the time permits, for sure. I want you guys to do carry a notebook and a pen so that whatever I'm writing over the board, I request you guys to please copy. It will be very helpful for you while preparing for the exams or for revision purpose. So guys, now let's start with the first chapter of the syllabus, that is material costing. The first element of the cost, that is material cost. Now guys, what is material? The first point is what is material? What exactly we are studying. So when talking about material, material is a physical object or a commodity that we use during the manufacture of a product or in manufacturing a product. I repeat again, what is material? Material is a physical object or a commodity that the manufacturer used to manufacture a product. When talking about the examples, let's say this pen. This pen is the final product. This pen is made up of plastic ink. This is what we call as material. Let's say I'm the manufacturer of wooden furniture. What wooden furniture is made up of? Wood. This is material. Let's say I'm the manufacturer of cakes and pastries. What these cake and pastries are made up of? Very simple. Milk, cocoa powder, yeast, egg, and flour. So this is material. Let's say I'm the manufacturer of shoes. What shoes are made up of? Leather. So this is material. So when talking about material, material is a physical object or a commodity that is used in manufacturing a product. When talking about the examples, fabric used in manufacturing a shirt, or we can say wood used in manufacturing furniture. Now, this material can be classified in two parts. Direct material and indirect material. I repeat again, this material can be classified in two parts. This material can be classified in two parts, that is direct material and indirect material. When talking about direct material, what is direct material? The material that is directly involved in manufacturing a product. I repeat again, what is direct material? The material that is directly involved in manufacturing a product and have some significant value is direct material. What is direct material? The material that is directly involved in manufacturing a product and have some significant value is direct material. So what is direct material? The material that is directly involved in manufacturing a product and have some significant value is direct material. When talking about indirect material, the material that play a supporting role in manufacturing a product is indirect material. What is indirect material? The material that play a supporting role in manufacturing a product is indirect material. Direct material, the material that is directly involved in manufacturing a product and have some significant value is direct material. When talking about indirect material, indirect material, the material that play a supporting role in manufacturing a product is indirect material. Let me discuss this with the help of an example. The difference between direct and indirect material. Let's say I'm the manufacturer of this pen. This pen is made up of plastic and ink. Without this, the pen cannot be manufactured. This plastic and ink have some significant value. So this is direct material. But let's say these pens are manufactured in machines and the machines require some sort of lubricating oil for their efficient functioning. Is lubricating oil anywhere present in the final product? No. So this lubricating oil for efficient functioning of machine, what we use is indirect material because it plays a supporting role in manufacturing a product. Let's take another example. I'm the manufacturer of shoes. Now these shoes are made up of leather. So leather is what we call as direct material. But to paste the leather, we use some sort of glue. It supports the manufacturing process. So that is indirect material. Let's take one more example, guys. I'm the manufacturer of cakes. I have a bakery and I do manufacture cake. Now these cakes are made up of what? Flour, egg, yeast, and cocoa powder, milk, whatever it is. So these are the major ingredients in the cake. So that is what we call as direct material. But now, the chef in my company use hand gloves and cap to maintain the hygiene standard. So now this cap and hand gloves, disposable hand gloves, are nowhere present in the final product. So they assist the production process. So that is indirect material. So we can say examples. In pen, we can say plastic and ink. In manufacture of shirt, we can say fabric. In case of pen, lubricating oil for machines. Apart from this, we can say stationery, what we use. All these are the examples of indirect material. So let's sum up what we have discussed till now. What is material? Material is a physical object or a commodity that is used in manufacturing a product. When talking about, there are two parts of material. Material can be classified in two ways. That is, first one is direct material, second one is indirect material. What is direct material? The material that is directly involved in manufacturing a product and have some significant value is direct material. When talking about indirect material, it plays a supporting role in manufacturing a product. That is indirect material. Let's say postage, telegram, or we can say stationery, and we can say lubricating oils, consumables. All these are indirect material. If you guys have any doubts in this part, you guys can ask me. Waiting for your queries. Miss Sri Lakshmi, don't worry. I'll try my level best to cover all the questions of study material specifically in this chapter. Don't worry, dear. Good, Mr. Aslam. Now, as I told you, this material is the one of the major element of the total cost of a product, or total cost of the product. So this material requires significant management attention. Proper material control is necessary so that we can, avoid any sort of misusage or theft of material. So my point is, I repeat again, guys, since this material is the major cost element in manufacturing a product, so proper material control is necessary. Proper material control is necessary. When talking about material control, what is material control? What are the object of material control? Very simple. When talking about the object of material control, why material control? First and the foremost thing, we are implementing material control because this is the major element in the total cost of a product. Further, what all objects of material control are? Very simple. When we procure material from outside supplier, there should be economy in purchase. We should purchase this material at the most competitive price. So when talking about the object of material control, the first and the foremost object is what? Economy in purchase of material. And the second object, once the material is in our hands, it should be used in the best possible way. Effective and efficient utilization of material. ये पूरी एक्सरसाइज इसलिए करते हैं because it's the major cost element in the total cost of the product. So material is a physical object or a commodity that we used in manufacturing a product. It can be classified in two parts, direct and indirect material. The material that is directly involved in manufacturing a product is direct material. The material that plays a supporting role in manufacturing a product is indirect material. Since this material is the major cost element, so proper adequate management attention is required. So we have to implement material control. When talking about the material control objects, very simple guys, there should be economy in purchase. पहली चीज तो मार्केट से जो हम परचेस करेंगे, इट शुड बी एट द मोस्ट कॉम्पिटिटिव प्राइस. और एक बार मटेरियल अगर हमारे पास आ गया है, तो इट शुड बी यूटिलाइज्ड इन द बेस्ट पॉसिबल वे. नाउ what all techniques we use in material control, that we'll be discussing throughout the chapter. But before this, we'll be discussing what all we'll be covering in this chapter. So in the meanwhile, I request you guys to please copy this part. And if you guys have any query, you guys can post your queries. Else, we'll be discussing the overview that what all we'll be covering in this chapter. Giving you 2 minutes time to please copy. Yes, Miss Priyanka. There is a query, sir. Why do we classify direct and indirect material? Indirect material, what we use is covered in other expenses. That is what we call as overheads. I request you guys to please copy this part. Thank you so much, Mr. Uday. Somewhat, Mr. Aslam, it is correct. I'll be covering this part in cost sheet, my dear. So now let me give you a brief about what all we'll be covering in this chapter. So the first part, what we'll be discussing in this chapter is relating to procurement of material. हम लोग मार्केट से रॉ मटेरियल प्रोक्योर कैसे करेंगे, what all documents need to be issued, what all challan needs to be issued, what is the process of procurement of material, that we'll be discussing first of all in this chapter. So material procurement. The second part, what we'll be discussing in this chapter is once the material is in our hand, what cost we should record it in books of accounts. I repeat again, once we have procured the material, at what cost we should record it in books of accounts. That is valuation of material. I repeat again, the first part, that is material procure, that is how to procure material from the market or from the outside supplier. What all challan needs to be issued, that we'll be discussing in this first part, that is material procurement. Second part, that is once the material is in our hands, at what value we should record it in books of accounts, that we'll be discussing in valuation of material received. Now, once we are done with the calculation of total cost, these materials are kept in store. So what all records the storekeeper has to maintain, so that to avoid any sort of misusage or unauthorized usage of material. So what all records, the CFT records what the storekeeper has to maintain, that we will be discussing in the third part. So material storage and records. Now, very important part, material control, inventory control, that we will be discussing. Examiner do ask questions on inventory control in most of the cases. So this is the most important part of the chapter. Inventory control, most important part of the chapter. Thereafter, these materials are kept in stores, and the stores issue these material to the production department. So we have to prepare a ledger for material. We have to prepare a ledger for issuance of material. So we'll be discussing the next part, that is valuation of material issues. The institute has suggested, I think you guys must be aware about this part, that is LIFO method, FIFO method, weighted average method. So this will be covered in this part, that is LIFO FIFO, weighted average method, and simple average method. Valuation of material issued from stores to the production department, at what value it is to be issued to the production department, we'll be discussing in this part. Thereafter, accounting and control of wastage and scrap. And thereafter, the last part, that is consumption of material. These all are the points. This is the overview of the chapter that what we'll be discussing one by one. That is, first part starts right from the procurement of material, how to procure material from the outside supplier. Thereafter, once the material is in our hands, at what value it should be recorded in books of accounts. Further, what all records the storekeeper has to maintain to avoid any sort of unauthorized or misusage of raw material. So we'll be discussing what all records the storekeeper and the company has to maintain. So this part, material storage and records. Thereafter, the next part, that is the most important part of the chapter, you will see the questions. From this chapter, in fact, when talking about this chapter, maximum time questions आपको inventory control से ही मिलेगा. Thereafter, valuation of material issues, comparatively most easiest part of this chapter. Thereafter, accounting and control of wastage and scrap, and further the last part, consumption of material. So this is all what we will be discussing in this chapter. If you guys want to copy this part, you guys can please copy. Thank you so much, Sunil Kumar. See, Dilip Rathod, I have used my language as the material that is directly involved in manufacturing a product and have some significant value is direct material. And the material that play a supporting role, they are not directly involved in manufacturing process, that is what we call as indirect material. So when talking about the value, it may depend upon product to product. Mr. Mohammad Aslam, the objectives of material control is next objective of material control. See, when talking about the object of material control, very simple. First point, market से हम लोगों को most economical price पे purchase करना है. We have to purchase, or major object of material control or inventory control is what? To purchase at the most competitive price. And once the material is in our hands, it should be utilized in the best possible way. That is the major object of this chapter also. So guys, let's proceed further. Let's start with the first part of chapter, that is relating to procurement of material. Market से material procure कैसे करेंगे? Now guys, let's start with how to procure material. Now guys, अगर आप syllabus में देखेंगे तो there are so many चालान, ये issue करना है, वो issue करना है, ये करना है, वो करना है. But guys, trust me, these all challans are issued practically. So I request you guys to please pay attention to whatever I'm discussing in this part. It will be helpful for you from examination point of view also. And when you are working in the corporate houses and you are more or less related to procurement job, you have to use these challans practically to get the material procured. I repeat again, guys, this part is very important. Practically also, most of the companies ये process actually use करती है. अगर आप job भी करेंगे, तो you have to follow this process practically. So from practical purpose also and from examination point of view also, this part is very interesting and very important. So no need to worry. Let's discuss it in a very practical way. So let's start the material procurement process. Just give me a second, guys. Water break. So let's start with the how to procure the material procurement process. Now, guys, the entire procurement, in fact, the entire process, whether it is production process or procurement process, the entire process of a company starts from the engineering department or planning department. I repeat again, the entire process of procurement starts from the engineering department or planning department. Now, what these people do, they just try to, after necessary market research or product study, what they do, they try to figure out that what all raw material or what all specification we have to use to manufacture our desired product. I repeat again, guys, the entire process starts from the engineering department or planning department. They do try to figure out that what all quality and specification of raw material we have to use to manufacture the product. Let's say I'm the manufacturer of shirt. Now these shirts are made up of fabric. Now I have a factory wherein I do manufacture fabric also. Now my engineering department will try to figure out what should be the composition of various elements so that we can get the best quality premium fabric. How much percentage of cotton is required? What quality of cotton is required? How much percentage of nylon is required? How much lycra is required? How much polyester is required? So they set up the mix, they set up the specification of the various raw material to figure out that we can get the best quality of the product. So the entire process starts from the engineering/planning department the entire process starts from the engineering department or planning department. They do figure out that what all specification of raw material we have to use. And they write the specification over the paper and hand over it to the production department कि भाई साहब आपको ये raw material use करना है to manufacture a product. The paper that they give, they deliver to the production department is called as bill of material. So engineering department issues bill of material to whom? The production department. When talking about bill of material, guys, what is bill of material? It contains the details specification of the product. It contains the detailed specification of the raw material, what we have to use. What is bill of material? It contains the detailed specification of raw material detailed specification of raw material we have to use. So the entire procurement process starts from the engineering department. They do figure out that what all specification of raw material we have to use, and they issue bill of material to the production department कि भाई साहब आपको ये specification का raw material use करना है to manufacture or product. So now once the production department is aware about कि भाई हमें क्या raw material use करना है, they will approach the stores department. कि stores department, do you have this quality of raw material with us? If yes, please give it to us so that we can start the manufacturing process. So what our production department will do, they will approach the stores department कि भाई engineering department की तरफ से plan आया है कि ये सारा raw material use करना है to manufacture the product. So do you guys have this quality of raw material? So they request to the stores department. I repeat again, production department request to the store department that we want this quality of raw material. So they write it, they do it in writing. They do write material requisition, request for material, that is material requisition. Material requisition. To whom? To the stores department. Production department write to the stores department that we need so and so quality of raw material as advised by the engineering department. So they do write material requisition to the stores department. Now, once the store department receives the material requisition, he will check अगर stores में वो material available है तो best, they will immediately provide it to the production department. But if the material is not in stock, then what? The stores department will approach whom? The purchase department. कि भाई ये material का requirement आया है, we don't have this quality of raw material in our stock. So better you procure it, you provide it from the outside supplier. So stores department क्या करेगा? It will approach the purchase department. If they have sufficient stock of raw material, they will immediately provide it to the production department. But if they don't have any sort of stock of the quality or specification of the material desired, they will approach the purchase department कि भाई मेरे stock में material नहीं है. You have to provide me the material. You have to collect the material from the supplier, and you have to provide me this material. So stores department do approach purchase department in writing. What they issue? They issue purchase requisition, a request for purchase. Now, once they issue purchase department, now the purchase department has the authority to procure material from the outside supplier. So this purchase requisition is more like an authority letter. This is more or less like an authority letter to purchase department. To procure material from outside supplier. So what is purchase requisition? This purchase requisition is issued by the stores department to the purchase department. It is more or less like an authority letter to the purchase department कि भाई आप you can proceed for purchase of this raw material from the outside supplier. Now, once the purchase department gets the authority कि भाई now I am authorized to procure it from the outside supplier, what they will approve? What they will do? They will approach the outside suppliers. Who all suppliers are available in the market that they can provide us the desired raw material. So they do approach the suppliers. the purchase department, now how do they approach the supplier? Very simple, they issue tender or request for proposal to the various supplier. That ki bhai sahab, there is a requirement in our company of so and so quality of raw material of so and so specification. Interested supplier can submit the quotation. Accordingly, we will select and will issue the purchase order. So what purchase department will do? They will issue request for proposal. Or tenders. There is so and so requirement of in my company, the interested supplier can submit their quotation. I repeat again, the interested supplier can submit their quotation. So, as soon as the supplier receives the tenders or request for proposal, the interested suppliers will submit the quotation to the purchase department. Ki we are ready to supply your desired quantity of desired material of so and so specification at so and so price. So the interested, once the supplier receives the tender, the interested supplier submit their quotations to the purchase department. Ki bhai, we are ready to supply so and so quality of raw material of so and so specification at so and so price. If you guys have any doubts till now, you guys can ask me, else there are few more challans or invoices we have to issue. If you guys have any doubts till now, you guys can ask me. Yes, Mr. Dhyanesh. Nowadays, I can say yes, but you should have thorough understanding of what all challans needs to be issued. Kavita Chandak, difference between material procurement, it is related to how to procure the material from the outside supplier. What all challan needs to be issued, what all invoices need to be issued in this entire process of procurement. So guys, let's proceed further. As I discussed, the entire process starts from the engineering department. They do figure out what all specification of raw material we have to use, and they do write bill of material to the production department. Now, production department will approach whom? Stores department ki bhai hamari ye requirement aayi hai. But in writing, they issue material requisition, request for material. Agar stores department ke paas hoga, they will supply to the production department. But if no, they will issue purchase requisition to the purchase department. Ki bhai, please procure the material from the outside supplier. Now, what purchase department will do? They will issue request for proposals and tenders to the various supplier. That thereafter, once received, the supplier who is ready to provide us the material will submit their quotations. It contains the details of the raw material that they are going to supply, plus the specification, plus the price part also. Now, once purchase department receives the various quotations, I repeat again, once the purchase department receives the quotation, the supplier once the purchase department receives the quotation, the supplier who is providing the best quality of raw material, at the most competitive price will be selected. वो सप्लायर जो हमें हमारा डिजायर्ड क्वालिटी ऑफ रॉ मटेरियल एट मोस्ट कॉम्पिटिटिव प्राइस जो है वो प्रोवाइड कर रहा है will be selected, and once he is selected, purchase department will issue purchase order to the supplier कि भाई we are issuing the purchase order, so please proceed. So once the purchase department select the supplier, they will issue purchase order. The purchase department will issue purchase order to the supplier. Key, you have been selected and please proceed further. Now, as soon as the supplier receives the PO, that is purchase order, they will not immediately supply the material. They will issue pro forma invoice. This pro forma invoice contains the details of the quantity of raw material that they are going to supply along with the price. I repeat again, the supplier will not immediately provide us the material. They will issue a pro forma invoice. It contains the quantity, the quality, and the price of material and the total bill amount. So what supplier will do? They will issue pro forma invoice to the accounting department of the company. They will issue pro forma invoice to the accounting department of the company that this much is the total bill amount that you guys need to pay. Now, if the terms are like that you need to release any sort of advance payment, अगर आपके terms of payment ऐसे हैं कि supplier demands for advance payment, then accounting department will release the payment. Let's say 30% payment need to be made in advance. So once the payment is processed from the accounting department to the supplier, thereafter supplier will proceed further and will issue final invoice to the accounting department and material to the stores department. Material along with delivery challan to the stores department. I repeat again, if the payment terms are like 30% payment need to be made in advance, the accounting department will release the payment, and once the payment is received by the supplier, they will issue invoice to the accounting department and they will provide material to the stores department along with the delivery challan. Now, once the material is received by the stores department, once the material is, one second guys. Once the material is received by the stores department will issue material receipt note to the accounting department कि भाई accounting department आपने जिसका payment release किया था उसका material जो है हमारे पास आ गया. So this is how the entire process works. Apart from this, there are two more challans that need to be issued. That is goods return note. If certain goods are not as per the specification or are damaged or defective, then they will return it to the supplier. So the stores department will issue material return note to the supplier as well as the accounting department. Plus one more point. So there are two more points. That is material return note. If certain material is not as per the specification, then the stores department will issue material return note to the accounting department as well as the supplier. And the last part, that is one more point, that is one more invoice that need to be issued is material abstract. Again, this material abstract is issued to the accounting department. It contains the minute details of the material that has been with us. So if you guys have any doubts in this part, if you guys have any doubts in this part, you guys can ask me. When talking about the material return note, if the material is not as per specification, this material return note will be issued by the stores department to two persons, supplier and accounting department. And the last part, that is material extract, this is also issued by stores department, but whom? To the accounting department, contain the details of the material that what we have. So these two are issued by the stores department. So So let's sum up what we have discussed till now. Then I'll give you time to copy this part. Very simple, guys. The entire process starts from the engineering department. After necessary research, they try to figure out what all quality of raw material they have to use. So once they identify the quality of raw material that they have to use, they will issue the bill of material to the production department. It contains the detailed specification of the raw material, what we have to use. Once the production department receives the bill of material, they will approach the stores department. They will request the store department कि भाई we want material. So they request for material request. So this is material requisition. If stores department is having that quality of raw material and quantity of material, they will provide it to the production department. But if not, the stores department will approach the production department in writing. They will issue purchase requisition. It is like an authority letter to the purchase department to procure material from outside supplier. So once the purchase department gets the authority to purchase, what they will do? They will issue a request for proposal and tenders to various suppliers, and the interested supplier will submit their quotations. Once the quotations are submitted, the supplier who is providing the best quality of raw material at the most competitive price will be selected, and the purchase order will be issued to the selected supplier. On receipt of purchase order, what supplier will do? He will not provide us the material immediately. They will issue a pro forma invoice that we are ready. This is the quantity that we are going to supply. This is the price. This is the total bill amount. They will issue pro forma invoice to the accounting department. On receipt of pro forma invoice, if the payment terms are like certain percentage of payment need to be processed in advance, the accounting department will release the payment to the supplier, and as soon as the payment is received, the supplier will provide the final invoice to the accounting department, and they will provide material to the stores department along with the delivery challan. Once the material is received, the stores department will inform the accounting department कि भाई साहब हमारे पास material आ गया है, so don't worry, आपका payment process हुआ है, हमारा material आ गया है. So stores department will inform the accounting department via material receipt note that the material has been received. If certain material, if some part of material is defective or not as per the specification, the material will be returned to the supplier. So along with the goods, the material return note will be sent from stores to the supplier. Material return note, and stores department will also provide material report return note to the accounting department also. The last part, the stores department will issue material abstract to the accounting department so that they can record the details of the material accordingly. If you guys have any doubts, you guys can ask me. Further, I request you guys to please copy this part. Jyoti, material abstract contains the details of the material, what we have in stock, and that is issued by the stores department to the accounting department. Mr. Ingle, the difference between pro forma invoice is the final invoice जिसके ऊपर GST number वगैरह सब कुछ लिखा हुआ होगा. Pro forma invoice is just the draft, that is this much will be your bill and all. Yes, Jyoti, purchase department हमेशा tender issue करता है. I request you guys to please copy this part. If you guys have any query, you guys can please post your query. I have to wait for everyone, Mr. Aslam. Anyone else having any doubts? Jyoti, Priyanka, Sushil Kumar, Barik. Saurav Saha, please copy whatever I'm writing over the board. Miss Kavita Chandak, sir, what is quotation? Quotation contains the detail of the material that supplier is going to provide us, along with the prices, at what prices they are going to provide us the material. कि supplier हमें material क्या rate पे provide करेगा, क्या quality का material provide करेगा. That the quotation contains these details. So guys, the procurement process is over. I hope you guys are thorough with the entire process. Now, without wasting time, let's proceed further with the next part of the chapter, that is valuation of material. Again, a very important part of the chapter, that is valuation of material. Now, when talking about the value of material, as per accounting standard 2 also, whatever the cost of material till the factory gate will be the total cost of material. I repeat again, whatever the costs that are incurred till the factory gate along with the purchase price will form part of total cost of material. वो cost जो कि factory gate तक हमारा लगा है for bringing the material till the factory gate will be included in the total cost of material. Let's say I'm the manufacturer of wooden furniture and I do import teak wood from Indonesia. So let's say I have purchased the teak wood worth rupees 10 lakh. Now there are n number of expenditures that will be incurred from bringing the teak wood from Indonesia to India. So whatever the expenditures that are incurred, if any commission is paid, if any transit insurance is paid, if any carriage inward is paid, freight inward is paid, custom duty is paid, whatever the costs that are incurred will form part of the total cost of inventory. Still, Institute has given some points and I'll be addressing these points one by one. We'll be discussing the points that are mentioned in the study material one by one. So I request you guys to please open your study material. I'm giving you 2 minutes time. जिसके पास हार्ड कॉपी है वो हार्ड कॉपी लेके आ जाइए अपने पास, and those who are not having any hard copy, you can download the material from ICAI BOS portal. So giving you 2 minutes time, guys, please open your study material. So guys, as I told you, whatever the costs that are incurred till the factory gate will form part of total cost of material. But still, Institute has provided us few points, so we'll be discussing these points one by one relating to valuation of material. So let's start with the first point. The first point is trade discount. I'm discussing page number 2.11. Please open 2.11 page number of study material for soft copy. I'm using the soft copy. Okay, Mr. Aslam. So now let's start with the first point, that is trade discount. Very simple, guys. जब कभी भी आपको trade discount दिया जाए, please reduce it from the cost of purchase. Trade discount, it needs to be reduced from the cost of purchase. Let's discuss this with the help of an example. Let's say we have received the invoice like company name, invoice number, invoice date, particulars, quantity, per unit price and amount. Let's say material X, the quantity is 5,000 pieces at the rate 100 rupees. So the total invoiced amount is 5 lakh. Now it is given in the invoice that trade discount 10%. So 50,000 is reduced herein, and the final bill we have is 4,50,000. So guys, in this case, 4,50,000 will be the value that will be taken for the value of material. I repeat again, इस case में what will be the value of material that will be recorded in books of accounts? 4,50,000. Further, let's take one more example wherein the bill is given like that. %, trade discount applicable. In this case also, 10% will be reduced and 4,50,000 will be the value of inventory, value of material. So the thumb rule is wherever trade discount is given, it will be reduced from the cost of purchase. So the first part is over, guys. That is relating to trade discount. That is, the trade discount will be reduced from the cost of purchase. Now, the second point we will be discussing is quantity discount. Let's say I'm the manufacturer of shirts. I do have a stitching factory wherein I do stitch the shirt, but I do procure the fabric from the outside supplier. So let's say I approach a supplier that I want 2 meters of fabric. He will say that let's say he says that the price is 500 rupees per meter. So for 2 meters, it will be 1,000. But further, if I say, I give him an offer that I want to buy 1,000 meters of shirt, then what he will say, sir, this is not the price. I'll give you a quantity discount of 40%. So now from 500 rupees per meter to, if we take a discount of 40%, then what will be the price? 300. So how much, if we are purchasing 1,000 meters of fabric, we have to pay how much to the supplier? At the rate of rupees 300 per meter. So in this case, if the quantity discount is given, if in question the quantity discount is given, you have to reduce it from the purchase price, because this is the amount what we are paying it to the supplier. So my point, what is quantity discount? Discount for bulk buying. If it is given in the question, reduced it from the cost of purchase. So 2 points are over, guys. First one is trade discount. Second one is quantity discount. Trade discount, very simple, reduced it from the cost of purchase. Quantity discount also, you have to reduce it from the cost of purchase. Now the next part is cash discount. Very important, guys. It's not similar to trade discount or quantity discount. Now, what is cash discount? This discount is a conditional discount. I repeat again, cash discount is a conditional discount. Therefore, it will not be reduced from the purchase price. I repeat again, cash discount is a conditional discount. Therefore, it will not be reduced from the purchase price. Now, how it works? Let's take a situation. Let's say I have approached a supplier for a material of rupees 5 lakh. He has provided me the material of rupees 5 lakh. Now the payment terms are like that you have to pay it in 60 days. The payment terms are like कि 5 lakh जो है मुझे 60 days के बाद देना है. No worries. But further he gave me an offer that if you pay these 5 lakh rupees immediately, I'll give you a discount of 5%. I repeat again, supplier gives me an offer that if you pay this 5 lakh immediately, not after 60 days, but immediately, I'll give you a cash discount of 5%. Now, what this 5% is? Very simple, guys, cash discount. But herein, this 5% discount, if I have to avail, I have to make the payment immediately. So, herein, I will get a discount of 5%, but trust me, guys, we won't be able to enjoy the benefit of this 5 lakh for 60 days. There will be a loss of interest. There will be an opportunity loss in the form of interest. So, एक हाथ से हमें discount मिल रहा है, तो दूसरी side हमारा opportunity loss भी हो रहा है. So, at the end of the day, plus minus is 0. So, cash discount, very important, guys. एक side हमें discount मिल रहा है, but on the other hand, we won't be able to enjoy the benefit of this 5 lakh for 60 days. So herein, in this case, there will be a loss of opportunity loss of interest cost also. So herein, the cash discount will not be reduced from the purchase price. I repeat again, cash discount will not be reduced from the purchase price. So 3 points are clear, guys. Trade discount, yes, you have to reduce. Quantity discount, yes, you have to reduce from the cost of purchase. Cash discount being a conditional discount, actually कुछ फायदा हो ही नहीं रहा है. एक साइड डिस्काउंट मिल रहा है, दूसरी साइड there is an opportunity loss of interest. We won't be able to avail the benefit of this 5 lakh for 60 days. So this amount will not be deducted. Very important, cash discount amount will not be deducted. Now the next point, that is 4th point, subsidies or grant or incentives. Now, subsidies are generally given by government. Government बोलता है कि if you procure this raw material, I am going to support you. Government want to encourage the purchase or consumption of so and so material. Let's say I have purchased a raw material worth rupees 10 lakh from a particular supplier. And now government says, don't worry, I am going to bear 20% of the total cost. I repeat again, I have purchased a material of rupees 10 lakh from a particular supplier, and government told me that don't worry, mera haath aapke sar pe hai, I am going to bear 20% of the cost of material. It means what? I have to bear only 80% of the cost. So let's say I have purchased material rupees 10 lakh from a particular supplier. Of this, 20% is the government subsidy, that is borne by the government. Government is encouraging you guys to procure this raw material and to consume this raw material while manufacturing a product. So 20% is the government subsidy. So amount bought by my company is how much? Only 8 lakh. So this will be the cost. This will be 8 lakh will be the cost that will be recorded in my books of accounts. So government subsidy, if given in question, you have to reduce it from the cost of purchase. So 1, 2, 3, 4 points I have discussed. If you guys have any doubts, you guys can ask me. Waiting for your queries, guys. Trade discount, we have to reduce. Quantity discount, we have to reduce. Cash discount, no reduction. We have to ignore cash discount. Thereafter, government subsidies, yes, we have to reduce. whatever the grants by whatever name code, either from government or from any other private organization, whatever the grant that is received will be reduced from the cost of purchase. Anything received before or after procurement of material, we have to reduce, Mr. Aslam. Let's keep the thing simple. If any support or assistance is received from government, if any support or assistance is received from the government, we have to reduce it. Now moving towards the next part, that is road tax, toll tax. Guys, let's say I am the manufacturer of steel utensils. Now, I do procure steel from, I'm a Mumbai-based businessman, I do manufacture steel utensils, and the raw material I procure it from, let's say, Ahmedabad. Now, अब अहमदाबाद से प्रोक्योर किया रॉ मटेरियल तो अहमदाबाद से वाया ट्रांसपोर्ट आएगा मुंबई, and during the course of transit the transporter has to pay the road tax or toll tax. So if any sort of road tax or toll tax is paid for transportation of goods from origin to destination, and if it is borne by the buyer, yes, it will be added to the cost of inventory. So my point, very simple, guys. If any road tax or toll tax is paid and it is borne by the buyer, it is borne by the purchaser, yes, it will be added to the cost of inventory. So road tax, toll tax, I repeat again, if it is borne by the company, it's borne by the purchaser or buyer, it will be added to the cost of inventory. Now the next part is GST. Mr. Vimal Kumar, you are talking about quantity discount. So if quantity discount is offered, then yes, it will be reduced. Now, next part is the GST part, wherein, guys, next part is the GST part, guys. Let's say I have received an invoice as this is the invoice what I have received from the supplier. Now, how much amount I have paid to the supplier? 56,000. How much amount I have paid to the supplier? 56,000. Now, very important, guys. If I am getting the credit of this 6,000, then the 6,000 will be reduced again from the cost. So my point is, if the dealer is a registered dealer, and if GST credit is available, if GST credit is available, then ignore GST. ना तो आप add करेंगे, ना आप deduct करेंगे. So in this case, let's say the bill amount is, the product is of 50,000, the GST paid is 6,000. Since I'm getting the credit of GST, so 6,000 will be reduced and the final value will be how much? 50,000. So if GST credit is available, then ignore GST. But if I am an unregistered dealer, if GST credit is not available, then the amount of GST, paid to the supplier will form part of our cost. So GST will be added in purchase price. So here in this case, 50,000 plus 6,000, total 56,000 will be the value of inventory. If you guys have any doubts in this part, you guys can ask me, waiting for your queries. Yes, Dhyanesh. Very good morning, Yash. When talking about this question, Sri Lakshmi, we do follow accrual basis of accounting. Further, you have to refer Accounting Standard 12, Government Grants. Herein, the method of accounting is clearly instructed. When talking about GST, it covers all CGST, SGST, everything. That I will be discussing, Mr. Aslam, don't worry. My point is very simple. अगर आपको ड्यूटी क्रेडिट मिल रहा है तो वापस रिड्यूस कर दीजिए. If you are paying from one hand and if you are getting the credit from the other hand, so if you are paying, add it. If you are getting the credit back, deduct it. That's it. Keep the thing simple. I request you guys to please copy this part. Now I'll be putting up a question in front of you of what all parts I have discussed. So I request you guys to please copy this part. Further, if you guys have any queries, you guys can please post your queries. Ms. Sri Lakshmi, I request you to please refer Accounting Standard 12, Government Grants. Mr. Aslam, if nothing is given in the question, I'll be discussing this part also. Have some patience. Yes, Jyoti, subsidy invoice value से deduct करेंगे. So guys, I hope you guys are clear with what I have discussed till now. Now there is a question for you guys. So please pay attention and I request you guys to please post the answer. I'll be waiting for your answers, guys. Let's say there is an invoice. Company name, invoice number, invoice date. Material X, 1 lakh. Trade discount at the rate of 10%. So 10,000, 90,000. Further, cash discount is also given at the rate of 5%. So it comes to 4,500. So the net amount will be 85,500. CGST and SGST at the rate of 6%. Yes, examiner, do ask questions, Mr. Uday. So 85,500 into 6%, 5130 and 5130. So this is the total invoice amount. Now, two questions. What will be the value of material if buyer is first a registered dealer and second unregistered dealer? When talking about registered dealer, I'm talking about under GST. So waiting for your answers, guys. If the buyer is a registered dealer and if the buyer is an unregistered dealer. So waiting for your answers, guys. I have got answer, the first answer from Dhyanesh. Yes, Dhyanesh, your answer is correct. Incorrect answer, Mr. Aslam. Very good, Sri Lakshmi. Your answer is correct. Alok Shivlani, your answer is correct. Incorrect answer, Alok. Please check the numbers are correct, but your answers are like first question is for a registered dealer and second question is for unregistered dealer. Mr. Abdul, correct answer. Piyush, correct answer. Jash Shah, correct answer. Uday Vishwakarma, incorrect answer. Jyoti, incorrect answer. Dhyanesh, incorrect answer. Manoj Kumar Thakur, correct answer. Jyoti, incorrect answer. Vimal Kumar, correct answer. Sri Lakshmi, correct answer. Uday Vishwakarma, incorrect answer. Your second answer is incorrect. Alok, let me check your answer. Yes, your answers are correct, but आपका नंबर गलत है. फर्स्ट का आंसर आपने सेकंड में लिखा है, सेकंड का आंसर फर्स्ट में लिखा है. आलोक. Abhishek, correct answer. Mr. Gerald, incorrect answer, my dear. Yash Keshri, incorrect answer. Sunil Kumar, incorrect answer. Yes, Mr. Sankaran, yes, correct answer. Incorrect answer, Sushil Kumar Barik. Renu Kumari, incorrect answer. I am surprised still you are not been able to answer it correctly. So guys, when talking about the first part, that is registered dealer, the registered dealer gets the credit of GST. So the first point is trade discount. This need to be deducted. So 1 lakh minus 10% trade discount. So 90,000. Now second point is cash discount deduct nahi hota hai. So how much will be the amount? 90,000. Cash discount will not be deducted. Now I am paying the GST to the buyer. How much? 5130 into 2. So this will be 10,260 I'm paying, but I'm getting the credit back. So the final value of invoice final value that will be recorded in books of account will be 90,000. Yes, Arshu, your answer is correct. I think Priyanka, I have not received your answer. Dilip Rathod, correct answer. When talking about the second part, that is unregistered dealer, $90,000 is the amount. Cash discount will not be deducted. How much GST has been paid? Very simple, 10,260. Am I getting the credit? No, I'm not getting the credit. So the total amount will be 100,260. This is the final amount. Very good, Dhyanesh. Now your answer is correct. I hope you guys are thorough with the concept of GST, how to use, what to do, what not to do. Still, few are not being able to answer. Very good, Nikita. Your answer is correct. Kavita Chandak, please check the solution. Your answer is incorrect. How come you are getting 100,800? Renu Kumari Singh, please check. Your answer is incorrect. Sushil Kumar. Mr. Aslam, your answers were incorrect. I'm surprised you are revising this part now. Still your answers are incorrect. Please check, Mr. Aslam. Perfect, Miss Priyanka. Perfect. Well said. Mr. Uday, this is the costing class, so no comments on what accounting, what we do in accounts. I'm just discussing the costing part, that is paper number, cost and management accounting paper. So better, I request you guys to ask only cost related questions. Sushil Kumar Varik, 5130 is 10260. Very good, Jyoti. Mr. Pranev Vashishta, no, I have not received any of your queries. Okay, perfect, Dhyanesh. No worries. Very good, Sushil Kumar. Very good, Mr. Manoj Thakur. Ms. Jyoti, now your answer is correct. Whether it is SGST or CGST, you have to follow the same approach. I have not done anything, Uday. This is the invoice that is issued by the supplier. But when talking about the GST part, whatever the amount I have paid to the supplier will only form part of my cost, Uday. I repeat again, Uday, whatever the amount that is paid to the supplier will only form part of my cost. Huh? Renu Kumari, I think you have joined a bit late, but very important, Renu. Cash discount is not to be deducted. Trade discount we can deduct, government subsidies we can deduct, quantity discount we can deduct, but cash discount, being a conditional discount, is not to be deducted. So let's proceed further, guys, with the next point. Let me open the study material. So we are done with road tax, toll tax. Very simple, guys. If it is borne by the buyer, it will be added to the cost of inventory. CGST, SGST, IGST, the treatment is the same. The next part is the custom duty. Again, the treatment of custom duty is similar to GST. Whenever I am importing raw material, I have to pay custom duty. If I am getting any sort of duty drawback or DEPB, duty entitlement, passbook credit, whatever it is, if I'm getting the credit back, it will be deducted. If I'm not getting the credit back, it will not be deducted. So thumb rule for custom duty, whatever the amount paid will be added to the cost. But if I am getting the credit back, it needs to be deducted. But very important, guys, a point I need to discuss when talking about duty, we have discussed two types, that is GST and custom duty. GST and custom. What if the question is silent? If no, see, if the question is clearly specified, the credit is available or credit is not available, so follow the instruction that are given in the question. But if the question is silent, what we should assume? If the question is silent, whether the credit is available or not. So if the question is silent, we have to assume that GST credit is available and custom duty credit is not available. So if the instructions are given in the question relating to GST, custom duty, you have to follow the instructions that are given in the question. But if the question is silent, we have to assume that the GST credit is always available and the custom duty credit is not available. This is the most important point of when talking about the duty part. So I request you guys to please copy this part. No worries, Mr. Aslam. My point is very simple. The cost we are paying to the supplier or any other cost that what we are incurring, that will be only added. You have taken a notional amount or a dummy amount. Now let's move toward the next part, that is penalty and charges. The first part, my point is before starting with the penalty and charges, these penalties and charges are the abnormal cost. And any sort of abnormal cost by whatever name called will never form part of cost of inventory. So not to be added. We'll be discussing these points one by one. So let's start with the demurrage cost. When talking about demurrage cost, it will never form part of total cost of inventory or total cost of material. What is when the question is what is demurrage cost? Let's say I am the manufacturer of teak wood furniture. I have imported teak wood from Indonesia. Now, as soon as my teak wood reaches the Mumbai port, the customer officer told me that, boss, you are requested to submit the document in coming 2 days. But there was a delay from my end for 10 days. And when I went to the custom officer, बोले भाई साहब ये गोडाउन आपका नहीं है, हमारा है. You have to pay the charges for keeping your raw material in our godown. So these charges are levied by the custom people, that is demurrage charges. And it's like a penalty or a fine, and therefore it will not be included in the total cost. So demurrage charges not to be included in the total cost. The next is detention charges or fines. Any sort of detention charges or fine, again being an abnormal cost, it will not be included in the cost of inventory. What are the detention charges and fine? Let's say my goods arrive at Mumbai port. I have to submit certain document, but there is wrong submission of document, or the items that are mentioned in the invoice are not similar with the actual, the items that are present in the warehouse are not similar with the items that are mentioned in the invoice. So custom people generally do levy fines. In fact, in general case also, whatever the fines levied or detention charges levied by whatever name code will not form part of total cost. Next part, penalties by whatever name code will not be included in the total cost of inventory. So in short, whatever the penalties, fines, detention charges, demurrage charges, anything in form of fines or penalties will never form part of the total cost of inventory. Now let's proceed further with the next part, that is other expenditure, that is insurance charges. Now guys, let's say I'm a manufacturer of shoes and I do procure leather from China. Now the goods will be coming from the China. So to avoid any risk of damage of material, I requested the supplier to do transit insurance. So my point is, so that if in case of damage or deterioration of leather, I'll be getting the claim from the insurance company. So if transit insurance or any sort of insurance charges, if it is borne by the buyer, it will form part of cost of inventory. So transit insurance or any sort of insurance charges, if it is borne by the buyer, borne by the purchaser, yes, it will form part of cost of inventory. When talking about commission or brokerage paid, again, if any sort of commission or brokerage is paid to any commission agent, and if it is borne by the buyer, yes, it will form part of total cost of inventory. Freight inwards, कि भाई China से जो goods आया मेरे factory तक, I have to pay the freight or carriage inward. So whatever the freight inward or carriage inward, it will form part of total cost of inventory. So insurance charges, commission charges, freight inward, carriage inward. If these charges are borne by the buyer, it will form part of total cost of inventory. Now let's proceed further with the next part, that is cost of container. Detention charges भी add नहीं होगा cost of inventory में ज्योति. Detention charges not to be deducted. Any sort of detention charges, penalties, fine, demurrage charges. So these charges will never form part of cost of inventory. Now let's proceed further with the cost of container. Let me discuss this cost of container with the help of an example. Now, it can be classified in two parts, that is the containers are returnable or non-returnable. The containers are returnable or non-returnable. हम लोग वापस return कर सकते हैं या नहीं return कर सकते. Let's say I have received an invoice from a particular company, material X, 50,000, container जिसमें material आता है. So if it is non-returnable, let's say 2,000 is the cost of container and it is of only one-time use, then the amount paid is 50,000 and the cost of inventory will also be 52,000. The amount paid is 52,000. The amount paid is 52,000 and the cost of inventory will also be 52,000 only. So if the containers are non-returnable, then whatever the amount paid for the container will form part of total cost. But let's say we can return the container back to the supplier. So he is going to refund us the amount. I repeat again, we can return the container back to the supplier and thereafter we will be getting refund. But my point is, if they are refunding the full amount or partial amount. So wherein full amount is refunded or partial amount is refunded. Let's take an example. Let's say the product material X, let's say 50,000, the container returnable 5,000. Total amount is 55,000. Now, full amount is refundable. It is given in the question. So herein we are paying 5,000 to the supplier, but we will be getting back 5,000. So in this case, the ultimate cost is how much? 50,000. So that will be the value of inventory. So if full amount is refunded, then if the full amount for the container is refunded, then it means what? We have to ignore the cost of the container. But when talking about the partial amount, if partial amount is refunded, very simple, let's take the same example, material X, 50,000, container returnable, let's say of 5,000. Further, it is given that 80% amount will be refunded. 80% amount will be refunded. It means our cost is how much? Only 20% of the cost of the container. So what will be the cost of inventory? 50,000 plus 5,000 into 20%. So the total cost will be 51,000. So if the full amount is refunded, then we have to ignore the cost of the container. If the containers are non-returnable, then again, whatever the cost of container is, it will be added to the cost of inventory. But if partial amount is refunded, then whatever the cost to our company will only form part of cost of inventory. If you guys have any doubts, you guys can ask me. In the meanwhile, I request you guys to please copy this part. I request you guys to please copy this part. Now there is a query from Mr. Abdul sir, if container is non-returnable but not one-time usable, so it will be added to the cost proportionately. Yes, we can say, I mean, you have to think practically rather than like a bookish knowledge, you have to think practically. If it can be used 10 times, then the cost will be apportionate, will be allocated on proportionate basis. Example of returnable container, Mr. Uday, could be soft drink glass bottles, and non-returnable container could be poly bag of milk, or we can say tin of the soft drinks, whatever it is. Nadeem Nathani, sir, please explain again the returnable portion. Mr. Nadeem, when talking about returnable, हम लोगों के पास container आया, we are returning back to the supplier. If he is providing us the entire amount as refund, so there is no cost that is borne by us. So whatever the price paid will only form part of cost of inventory. Herein, we are paying 5,000, but we are getting back 5,000. So ultimately, our cost is 50,000 only. So if the full amount is refunded, then this will be the value. But let's say if part amount is refunded, let's say in this case, the 5,000 is the cost of container, and herein they are saying that 80% amount we will refund back. It means what? 20% is borne by our company. So here in 50,000 plus 20% of 5,000, that is 1,000 to 51,000. Mr. Abdul, this is what we call it as the proportionate allocation. I hope, Nadine, you are clear with this part. If you guys have any query, you guys can post your queries. I'll be discussing the questions of study material. Thereafter, I'll put up a question in front of you. Don't worry, Mr. Aslam. So guys, without wasting time, let's proceed further. Very good, Mr. Aslam. Very good, Dhyanesh. Yes, well said, Mr. Dhyanesh. Now let's proceed to the next part that is relating to shortage. I think it's shortage only. Yes. So let's proceed further with the next part that is relating to shortage, or we can say loss. This part we will be discussing in detail in process costing, but just giving you a brief for the same. When talking about shortage, it can be either normal shortage or normal loss and abnormal loss or abnormal loss. When talking about normal loss, this is normal in nature. It is bound to happen. We cannot avoid normal loss. Let me discuss this with the help of an example. Let's say I'm the manufacturer of potato chips. I do procure the potatoes from the farmer. Now it's the nature of the product that in course of loading and unloading, certain percentage of potatoes will be damaged. So this is normal loss. I repeat again, normal loss is inherent in nature, bound to happen, cannot be avoided. Nature ही ऐसा होता है product का कि वो normal loss होता ही है. Let's say I'm into processing of crude oil. During the processing of crude oil, certain percentage is evaporated. That is normal loss. The same example, if I do procure potatoes directly from farmer, so once they reached till my factory gate, loading hoga, unloading hoga, fir loading hoga, fir unloading hoga. So in that process, certain percentage of potatoes will get damaged. So this is normal loss. But when talking about abnormal loss, it is due to abnormal reasons. We can avoid abnormal loss. I repeat again, this abnormal loss we can avoid if we do take care of, if we do take proper precautions or care. So abnormal loss, it happens due to abnormal reasons, can be avoided. So I hope the meaning part is clear. Example of abnormal loss, we can say, let's say I do procure potatoes from farmer. So loading unloading mein jo damage hota hai, that is normal loss. But let's say during transit, one of the vehicle met accident, and let's say 50 quintals of potatoes were scrapped. So this is what we call as abnormal loss. I repeat again, during transit from farm to my godown, one of the vehicle met accident and 50 quintals of potatoes were damaged because of that accident. So agar hum dhyan rakhte to accident nahi hota. So this is due to abnormal reasons. So that is abnormal loss. So meaning part, very important guys. I'll be discussing this part in detail, but just giving you a brief. Normal loss, it is due to normal reasons, cannot be avoided, inheritance in nature. But when talking about abnormal loss, yes, we can avoid it. It is due to abnormal reasons. Now, when talking about what if in case if it is a normal shortage or a abnormal shortage, what will be the treatment? What will be the treatment? When talking about normal loss, the value, the normal loss is absorbed by good units. The value of a normal loss is absorbed by good units. When talking about abnormal loss, whatever the value of abnormal losses or abnormal shortages, it will be treated as loss and it will be directly transferred to costing period. So when talking about abnormal loss, will be the value of abnormal loss So normal loss, the value of normal loss will be absorbed by good unit. How come to absorb? Let's say there is an input of 1000 units and the purchase price is 100. So my total cost is 1 lakh rupees. Now let's say the company has predicted well in advance that there is a normal loss of 20% because of the nature of the product. So we can say how much output we will be getting. 800 units will be the output. So this cost of 1 lakh, instead for 1000 units, will be the cost of 800 units. So my total cost per unit will be how much? Earlier it was 100. Now my total cost will be how much? 125. So due to normal loss, the product cost has been inflated. The loss of these 200 units is borne by the remaining 800 units. But if it is abnormal loss, whatever the value of loss is, that will be transferred directly to costing P&L. So this is all what about normal and abnormal loss. If you guys have any doubts, you guys can ask me. Waiting for your queries. We are done with all the points of study material. Now we have to discuss 2 questions of study material. Thereafter, I'll be putting up a question in front of you and I want you to solve that question in class. So if you guys, whatever the queries you have in relation to valuation of material, you guys can ask me. Waiting for your queries. In the meanwhile, I request you guys to please copy. This will be very helpful for you guys while revising for the exams. Miss Manisha Ben Panchal, I wish I could give you a break. I hope you guys are not tired. No worries, Mr. Aslam. Any doubts, any queries, please copy this part. Well said, Mr. Somesh. Very good, Uday. Thank you so much. I wish I could extend the class also, but the time is like I have to finish the lecture by 9:30. I would have surely extended the class, Mr. Alok. So guys, let's start now with the practical part of the chapter. Let's give you a quick brief about what we have discussed in the valuation of inventory, wherein, as I told you guys, whatever the cost that is incurred till the factory gate will form part of cost of inventory. Institute has provided us few illustrative points. First point, trade discount, yes, to be deducted. Quantity discount to be deducted. Cash discount not to be deducted. Thereafter, we discussed subsidies. Yes, if any sort of grants or subsidy received from government, that will be deducted. Thereafter, duties and taxes, toll, any sort of toll tax or road tax paid. Yes, if it is borne by the buyer, it will be added. GST I have discussed in detail, so no need to discuss or clarify it further. Basic custom duty also I have discussed. But do remember that assumption, guys. If the question is silent about the duty credit, no credit for custom duty is available, but yes, the GST credit is available. Demurrage charges, detention charges, fines, penalties, by whatever name called, कोई भी तरह का panel cost है, it will not to be added. Insurance charges, commission and brokerage, freight inward. If it is borne by the buyer, the purchaser, it will be added. अगर हमारी जेब से pay हुआ है, then only it will be added. Cost of container I have discussed, that is returnable and non-returnable. As far as shortage is concerned, if it is normal loss, the value of normal loss will be absorbed by good units, but if it is abnormal loss, the balance will be directly transferred to the costing P&L. Baki, ज्यादा description, ज्यादा briefing I'll be covering in the process costing. Thank you so much, Priyanka. I do expect cooperation from you guys. So no worries, guys. Let's proceed further. Let's start with illustration number 1 of the study material. I request you guys to please refer illustration number 1 of the study material. So let's start, guys. SKD Company Limited, not registered under GST. The first line, not registered under GST. It means what? No credit is available. इसका मतलब क्या है? Whatever the GST paid will be added to the cost of inventory. So SKD Company, not registered under GST, purchased material P from a company which is a registered dealer. So the supplier is going to charge GST, but we cannot take credit. So whatever the GST that is paid to the supplier will form part of cost of inventory. The following information is available for one lot of 1,000 units of material purchased. So the information is given for 1,000 units. That is, the list price is 50,000 for 1,000 units. The trade discount, 10% of the list price. Yes, it is to be deducted. CGST, SGST, anyways, it is mentioned in question also. Credit not available, so it will be added. Cash discount, you guys have to ignore. Freight and insurance, yes, we will assume that it is borne by the buyer, so it will be added. Toll tax paid, yes, it will be added. But demurrage charges, as I told you, it's a panel cost, it's a fine, so it will not to be added. Commission and brokerage paid on purchases, yes, it will be added. Amount deposited for returnable container 6,000. However, herein we are getting a refund of 4,000. It means what? Or cost to company is how much? 2,000. So it will be added. Further, other expenses are 2% of the total cost that we will be discussing. 20% of material shortage is due to normal reason. It means what? Our output is 800 units. The input is of 1,000 units. That is what we are procuring. But 20% they have assumed normal loss, or output is of 800. I mean, it's not output actually. The material in hand is our 800 units only. You are required the payment terms. Anyways, it is irrelevant because cash discount never form part of cost of inventory. You are required to calculate the cost per unit of material purchased to SKD company. So computation of total cost of material. So material purchased is 1000 units and the total cost is 50,000. Now what need to be added and what need not to be added we'll be discussing. So first point is the trade discount 10% on the list price. It will be deducted. So 5,000 will be deducted and the net amount will be how much? 45,000. Now the GST will be levied after deducting the trade discount, that is 12%, 6% CGST and 6% SGST. So %6 on 45,000. So 45,000 into 6%, that is 2,700 and 2,700. So this is the final bid what we have received from the supplier. So 45,000 plus 12% is 50,400. Now there are certain expenditures that are incurred apart from the purchase price. So let's start, guys. Freight and insurance, yes, it will be added to the cost. Freight and insurance amount is 3,400. Thereafter, toll tax paid 1,000. Assuming it is borne by the buyer, so 1,000. Commission, demurrage charges, again you guys have to ignore, not to be added to the cost of inventory. So demurrage charges will be ignored. Commission and brokerage on purchase. Commission and brokerage paid is 2,000 rupees. Thereafter, amount deposited for returnable container 6,000. 6,000 we have deposited, but 4,000 we are getting the refund back. So ultimately, amount for returnable container borne by the buyer is how much? 2,000. Amount further, other expenses are 2% of the total cost. Now, this is not the total cost. This cost is excluding 2%. So let's calculate the total cost till now. $58,800. Now, I repeat again, herein it is given in the question that other expenses are 2% of the total cost. This is not the total cost. Herein, if we add the other expenses, then we will get the total cost. So right now we don't have the total cost. Now we don't have the 2% other expenses amount, but we have the balance amount, that is cost apart from these 2%. So let's say the cost is 100. Of this, 2% is the other expenses. So it means 98% represents this total cost of 58,800. I repeat again, other expenses are 2% of the total cost. But total cost we don't have. So let's assume that total cost is 100. 2% is the other expenses. It means what? The balance 98% is how much? 58,800. So therefore, 58,800 divided by 98 into 100 will be the total cost. So this will be 60,000. and this will be 1200. So I hope this part is clear to all. Now guys, herein the question is has clearly mentioned that there is a normal loss of 20% of input. There is a normal shortage of 20%. Sorry guys, I'm just mixing the concept of process costing. There is a normal shortage of 20% till the factory gate. So herein, even though we have purchased 1000 unit, but 20% normal shortage is bound to happen. It means what? 20% is our normal loss. So how much material we are getting? 1000 minus 20%. Purchased minus normal loss at the rate of 20%. It means what? 200 units is the normal loss. So it means material in hand is how much? 800 units. So the cost per unit will be how much? 60,000 divided by 800. $75. So this is illustration number 1 of the study material. If you guys have any doubts, then please let me know accordingly. Very good, Vimal Kumar. Very good, Janesh. So if you guys have any doubts, you guys can ask me. Waiting for your queries. The similar solution is available in the study material. So no need to copy. If you want to copy any sort of explanation, you guys can copy. But very important points. Very important point. One more point, guys. Now, whatever, जो भी आपके दिमाग में हो कि मैंने ये assume किया है या वो assume किया है, write as a footnote. Don't give any opportunity to the examiner that he will deduct your marks. So here in what we have assumed, that first, assuming freight and insurance and toll tax paid is borne by the purchaser. So write it as a footnote. Demurrage cost being demurrage cost will never form part of cost of inventory. Further, apart from this, what note we can write? That is more than sufficient. We can write that the value of normal loss is absorbed by value of good units. Therefore, the product cost is inflated because of normal loss. So, जो भी आपके दिमाग में है, write footnotes. Note 1, note 2, note 3. So, do make a note of it. Wherever you are finding any sort of confusion that what to assume, better write your assumption below the solution. So this is the tip how to solve the questions. If you guys have any doubts in this question, you guys can ask me. I think the second question is very easy. So I'll be putting up a question in front of you guys. So if you guys have any doubts till now, you guys can ask me, else I'll give you a question to solve. कविता चांडक पेमेंट पीरियड का कोई इफेक्ट नहीं होगा. सी कविता चांडक कैश पेमेंट पीरियड इज मोर और लेस रिलेटेड टू कैश डिस्काउंट, एंड एज आई हैव मेंशनड इट वेरी क्लियरली that cash discount is not to be deducted. So this phrase is of no use. Anyone else having any doubts, queries, confusion can ask me. Waiting for your query, guys. Waiting for your queries, guys. Yes, you can write it, Dhyanesh. GST is levied on the amount. GST is levied on the amount that is paid to the supplier. Mohammad Aslam. So guys, now a question for you. So guys, this is the question and I'm waiting for the answers. Assuming buyer is a registered dealer and unregistered dealer. When talking about registered dealer, unregistered dealer, I'm talking about GST. So I request you guys to please solve this question. I'm waiting for your answers now. Thank you so much, Abhishek. So waiting for your answers. you have to calculate total cost and cost per unit. Total cost and cost per unit. I request you to please post answer of the first question only, that is registered dealer. I request you guys to please post answer for registered dealer, the total cost and cost per unit. Okay, I've got an answer from Uday. Okay, so I have got the answers from, I'm talking about only registered dealer, guys. So I have got answer from Alok. Your answer is incorrect. Alok, your answer is incorrect. Uday, your answer is partially correct. Okay, Mr. Abdul, your answer is correct. Mohammad Aslam, incorrect answer. Alok, your answer is incorrect. Pranav Vashisht, Pranav Vashisht, your answer is correct. Piyu Chaurasia, incorrect answer. Abdul, your answer is correct. Dhyanesh, your answer is correct. Dilip Rathod, incorrect answer. Mr. Rama S, incorrect answer. Mohammad Aslam, again surprised, incorrect answer. Somesh Kharat, incorrect answer. Khushi, incorrect answer. Mohammad Aslam, again incorrect answer. Mr. Ashok, very good, your answer is Alok, sorry, Mr. Alok, your answer is incorrect now. Kavita Chandak, very good, your answer is correct, but please, Kavita Chandak, please check your calculation once again. Your total cost is correct, but cost per unit is incorrect. Mohammad Aslam, now correct answer. Manisha Bain, your answer is, please mention the total cost, please. Somesh Karat, incorrect answer. No worries. Uday, your answer is incorrect. Uday, incorrect answer. Nikita Namal, correct answer. But please check the cost per unit. The normal loss is 10%, Nikita. It's not always 20%. Dilip Rathod, incorrect answer. Miss Priyanka, your answer is correct. Thank you for the detailed answer. Very good, Mr. Pranav. Your answer is correct. Now guys, you can post the answer for unregistered dealer. What if in case if the dealer is an unregistered dealer? You guys can post your answer. What if in case if the dealer is an unregistered dealer? I have got the answers, but mostly the answers were incorrect. I'm surprised, guys. You guys are not paying attention in class. Alok, your answer is correct. Renu Kumari, your answer is incorrect, my dear. Yes, Mr. Aslam, your answer is correct. Sushil Kumar Barik, incorrect answer. Manisha Ben, please read the question carefully. Your answer is incorrect. Abhishek Pandey, incorrect answer. I request you guys to please pay attention. Please read the question carefully. Half of the work is done if you guys read the question carefully. Rama S, incorrect answer. Vimal Kumar Surolia, yes, your answer is correct. Both the answers are correct, Vimal. Mr. Abdul, yes, your answer is correct. Sunil Kumar, incorrect answer, Sunil. Alok Shivlani, yes, your answer is correct now. Piyu Chaurasia, yes, your answer is correct. Rama S, please post the answer. No, incorrect answer, Rama S. Muhammad Aslam, yes, your answer is correct. Dilip Rathod, your answer is incorrect. Dilip, please read the question carefully. Half of the work is done if you guys read the question carefully. Kavita Chandak, your total cost is correct, but your cost per unit is incorrect. Please read the question carefully. It's a very easy question, guys. So देखिए, material X 5 lakh 10% trade discount. So 50,000. The cost will be 4,50,000. Now, since the dealer is a registered dealer, what if in case of registered dealer? Since the dealer is a registered dealer, so GST credit is available. So therefore, 54,000 is not to be added and not to be deducted. Better ignore it. Now, fines and penalties we have to ignore. Demurrage charges we have to ignore. Toll tax paid, but it is borne by the supplier. I have written here supplier. Many of you guys skipped this point. Toll tax paid दिया है, सीधा add कर दो. No guys, it is borne by the supplier. Therefore, it will not to be added. When talking about returnable container, 2/3 of the amount is refunded. It means the amount borne by the buyer is how much? Only 1/3. That is 6,000 into 1/3. That is 2,000. Carriage inward is 2,000. So the total cost will be 4,54,000 divided by. See the input, the material we have purchased is 1,000. There is a normal shortage of 10%. It means what? We have 900 units in hand. So 900. So 4,54,000 divided by 900 is 504.44. And if it is an unregistered dealer, very simple guys, 4,54,000 the cost as calculated plus the GST amount. since he is not getting the credit. So plus 54,000. So total will be 5,08,000 divided by 900. So the value will be 564.44. So this is the final answer. This is the final answer. I hope the question was easy. Very good, Priyanka. Very good, Nikita. Now the answers. But please check your calculation. 5,08,000. Okay, perfect answer now. It is 564, not 568, Nikita. Sunil Kumar, please recheck the answer. Yes, Mr. Aslam, your answer was correct and you were the first one to answer, my dear. Dhyanesh, yes, your answer is correct. No worries, you'll be able to see this board and marker throughout the class. Don't worry, Priyanka. That's good, Priyanka. So I hope you guys are now thorough with the calculation of the total cost of inventory. The first part, that is material procurement process, and the second part, that is valuation of inventory, we have covered in this session. Now in the second session, we'll be covering most of the part of inventory control plus what all records the storekeeper has to maintain. So I'll be discussing this part in detail. In the meanwhile, I request you guys to please solve all the practical questions relating to valuation of inventory of study material. And if you guys have past practice manual, try to solve the questions in writing of the practice manual also relating to valuation of inventory. If you guys have any doubts, I'll try to address your query in the coming session. So guys, yes, Abhishek Pandey, the trick was for 1,000. Thank you, thank you, Sushil Kumar. So guys, that's it for the day, guys. Try to solve. This is the homework for you to solve all the questions of study material. Plus, you can download the past practice manual and try to solve the questions of practice manual of relating to inventory, valuation of inventory. I'll be back in the next session with inventory control. So thank you so much, guys, for your time and patience and attending the session, plus being actively participating in the session. So thank you so much, guys. God bless you. Have a great day. Sir, the session is concluded.